Alright, Star Wars episodes, episode 4, or not episode 4, 2, Droids in Distress. Well, this is technically 3 if you count the pilot episode as 2 parts, which Disney Plus does, but I don't. So this is technically episode 2. But I don't like most of Star Wars Rebels season 1 because it's quite boring. And it is the shortest season. There's only I think 16 episodes, maybe 15. And yeah, it's just the weakest season of the entire series. It has a lighter tone than Clone Wars did. And this episode kind of shows that. Because this is a type of story that you kind of see in Clone Wars, but it would be told a lot darker, made a bigger deal out of. Certain things would happen, right? But that doesn't happen here. And I'll explain what I mean as the review goes on. But basically this plot is that the rebels go on a mission because they're all out of food and they need money to buy food. So they kind of do the Mandalorian thing where they get a job, they go do something, and then they get money. And they, and you see a little anger from Ezra, who isn't being trained in the ways of the Jedi like he was promised, and he's kind of getting irritated and fed up. And you don't really see too much of the crew because in the first episode they introduced the crew. This episode they don't show you more of the crew. They focus on Zeb, which is a smart idea to do one episode per character, but they don't expand his character. They just give him a backstory, which backstory doesn't expand on him. He's just the big muscle brute guy with the sad backstory. I mean, that's it. So basically what they find are these weapons, because they're selling these weapons to an arm dealer to get money, and these are weapons that destroyed most of Zeb's race. And Zeb is horrified by them. You kind of see that in his face. Now in Clone Wars, this would made a big deal. He would get really sad and pissed off, and he'd be super, I don't know how to explain it, but it'd just be treated with more gravitas. Most of this, he's just most of this episode, after they kind of get back aboard their ship with R2-D2 and C-3PO, which are also in this episode, which it doesn't bother me too much, but because it's I don't know if they're really there for fan service, because they kind of do tie into the story. I mean, they probably were put in this episode for fan service, but I don't know. This kind of feels like an episode of that show, Droid Tales, and Zeb is the key to this story, and you learn that his race was killed by this weapon, and it's like, okay, but he's just mad and a little bit moody. Like, he acts like a moody baby who didn't get the toy that they wanted at the store. He's just mad. He's grumpy. Like, they would show you moments of characters in Clone Wars just being sad and alone, and it'd just be like a striking image and scene, and it's treated with so much more gravitas than this. This is pathetic. I mean, yeah, it's a sad backstory. Wow, you watch your whole race, and it is treated with some gravitas, but not enough. And this whole plot is kind of boring, because what's at stake is, oh no, the rebels might not get money and be able to eat. Like, yeah, Clone Wars had little side adventures. This is, yes, more of a story-driven show than that was. But when they did those episodes, it made sense. And they were having fun. And they were also serious. Like, there was a real dilemma that kept you watching. Not all of them, but majority of them. Almost all of them, in fact. And this is just like, oh no, they might not get the money. It's like, why do I care? This is nothing. Plus, you don't know these characters that well, so you're not like, oh. You're just a little bit interested because you're hoping that it gets to a story. But spoiler alert, Most of the season does not get to that point. It gets to that point somewhere towards halfway through season 2 to the end of season 3. No, to the start of season 3 through 4. So that's two seasons, a season and a half. That is just not anything. You know, I'm definitely going to review the seasons after I'm done with each one. But I'm just letting you know, this is not going to be praising this season. So sorry if you like the first season of Rebels. It's not that great of a season. I'm not acting like it's terrible. It has many terrible elements to it. But yeah, I just don't care for this episode. I think it has some good parts in it. Like Ezra using the Force. It's still, that scene should have been a little bit more better paced, where it's like, whoa, this is a big deal. I mean, I go back to like The Mandalorian, and such a simple character like Baby Yoda in that show, when they do like him using the Force, it's treated as like a big deal. They focus most of the time on that plot point when he does it. It's not like, oh, wow, he just used the Force, which is a Jedi thing. It should have been treated with a little bit more, I don't know, just a little bit more gravitas. Yeah, I just can't stand this episode in a way. Because it's nothing. It's really nothing. It doesn't progress the story. It isn't all that fun or investing. It's not exciting. It's not anything. It's boring. It kind of advances the characters, but not really, because backstory does not make a character stronger. So yeah. It's not good.